So one of the standout cars at SEMA this year is the car behind me, and this is its owner, Mr. Rob Dahm. How you doing, man? So
wonderful.
This is your 4-rotor RX-7. Tell us a bit about it.
This is the car. The hype behind this vehicle has been absolutely insane. This is my world's first all-wheel drive 4-rotor RX-7.
So tell us, I want to know power figures, how big is the turbo, what's the suspension setup, what are your goals with this car?
Yes. So my goals were to fulfill and to live up to the status I have as the largest rotary videos on YouTube. This car hopefully is going to fulfill that status. This is a completely custom suspension out of the Hoonicorn. There's a company called ASD Motorsports. They built the Hoonicorn. They found out about this. They're New Zealanders. They said, we love rotary. We think you're absolutely insane. We're in. So this is meant to handle, and instead of just having a massive engine with tons of horsepower, I wanted to have a car that could handle and be just like the Japanese spirit of a rotary engine vehicle.
So tell us, power, top
Yes.
speed, what's going to happen?
Yes, so the gentleman building the engine is a NHRA Hall of Famer with drag racing, and so he's got the same turbo on his 3-rotor, making 1,500 horsepower to the wheels.
So you're going to have one more rotor,
Yes.
and he's making 1,500 with 3 rotors.
And you know, there's a little controversy when you say how much power does a car that's not running, how much is it capable of making? We're up to 1,800 horsepower in terms of fuel and turbo. The turbo is going to have way higher end.
It's quite big.
Yes.
It's like a truck turbo. And top speed, what are we looking at?
The transmission is geared with this wheel size to do 255.
Is this going to be a race car, a street car? Can you daily it?
It looks like a race car now, but the goal is to make it an insane, legendary street car. That's one of the reasons I had the roll cage pushed so hard up and out of the way, is because think of it like a twin turbo Gallardo except with a rotary engine. This is meant to be a monster on the street.
And what's your favourite thing about the car? Obviously there's quite a lot of work still left to do, but you know the plan. What will be the coolest thing about the car?
Honestly, I love the suspension. I have a cantilever, it's a custom cantilever suspension, so I ended up building that. I ended up engineering the pieces off of ASD's design. So what you're seeing is the first time I'm really seeing it all put together. I just love the idea of the cantilever just bouncing as the car does.
Power to weight?
Coincidentally, Christian himself, Koenigsegg, had a hand in helping me with the aerodynamics on this car. And the reason I mentioned that is he's infamous for the 1-to-1. This car is that plus. So if anything, I have to add weight to the car because it's meant to be a Bonneville Salt Flats record holder, and I need a little bit more stability at the high-end speeds.
Yeah. And one thing that Rob told me earlier, which I find fascinating, is that the diff on the front there is from an E36 M3. So, we kind of like brothers now, aren't we? Brothers in ours.
In many ways. Yeah. The MX-5, RX-7, BMW.
We're like the same person. I'm the British version of you, maybe a little bit more handsome.
Yeah.
And when the car is built, I'm going to fly over and drive it. Is that going to happen?
That is going to happen.
Actually?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing. You heard it here first. Don't cut that bit out from the edit, because that's going to happen. Awesome, man. I can't wait to drive it, to see it, to experience it. So Rob Dahm's now gone to a whole bunch of different meetings, and this chap here, Jason,
Stepping
was it?
in, yeah, Jason.
Jason turned up and he said that he knows a bit about engineering. So talk to us about this 4-rotor engine. There's like Dorito chips inside.
Doritos inside. Yeah, I mean, so it's a pretty cool thing. I'm not as legit as Rob Dahm and actually doing an amazing build, but it is cool what he's doing. One of the big advantages of a rotary engine, as you can see, is the packaging. It's super tiny, it's super compact, and you can get a ton of power out of that. And if you look at the size of it, like you wouldn't think, okay, something that small is going to be producing power that big. So it's a really cool project. The other thing is, like, this isn't a production engine. They don't make production 4-rotors, so it's very unique to this. And one of the unique aspects about the Doritos inside is how you line them up. So if you have 2, you have a triangle like this, and you have a triangle like that. If you have 3, it goes into a little, 120-degree angle pattern. And then if you have 4, I was thinking it was actually up-down, but as a result of the way you want to balance it, you actually just go twist it every 90 degrees. So it goes 90 degrees back and spirals back through there. But you have a lot of combustion cycles occurring simultaneously in all of these rotors, and so it's a very smooth running engine And basically adding on more, you just kind of multiply the smooth effect of that throttle rather than the pulses from each combustion cycle.
And Rob was saying earlier that this car will be idling at about 1,500 RPM with a red line of 10,000 RPM. Now, rotaries are very well known for having a high RPM limit. Why is that?
Yeah, so really it's a result of not having reciprocating mass. So most engines, all the piston cylinder engines, basically everything here at SEMA has a piston that's going up and down, and you have to translate that into a rotational motion. Whereas this is everything that's in there that's moving, that is creating that rotational motion, and it's already rotating. So there's no parts that are moving up and down, everything's just moving in that pattern, so you can spin it up really fast.
And rotary engines are not known for being the most reliable. Something about apex seals?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be great. He's got the right people behind the project. You know, that's really what it's about, is getting the right design in there. There are challenges to it, like you have to inject oil into the engine, and you don't do that with piston cylinder engines. So you actually have oil squirters shooting in your engine oil, so you have to top it off every now and then with your fuel to help keep that seal, so that you're not getting that between the apex seal and the housing. You don't want that to get too hot, and so that's one of the things you have to do, is straight up inject engine oil in there. It's a unique solution.
And one question I have, which you might not even know the answer to, but
Probably not.
why has Rob not gone with, say, 3 or 4 smaller turbos, or even 2 smaller turbos? Why is there what looks like a massive truck turbo? Isn't that going to produce loads of lag?
Yeah, so it certainly won't have a bottom end. It's going to be tuned for a top end. I'm guessing what he'll do is keep the gearing so that he keeps it. I mean, this is a high revving engine. 10,000 RPM is very hard. It's very challenging to get a long, flat torque curve for that wide of a range. So you pick a range, he's going to obviously pick the top end, that's where you're going to make all the power, and so you get a super big turbo. It can handle that really high speed, all the exhaust that's going to come out, and at that top end range, he'll have his gearing set up so that he can stay in that power band, float in those, 6,000 to 10,000 RPM range, will have loads of power, and just keep it up there. And a single turbo is a really simple, good solution for getting a super high amount of power.
Make sure you subscribe to us, Car Throttle, and also Rob Dahm's channel, where you'll be able to see the whole build series. Right, so I am minutes away of getting inside a trophy truck and being driven around this amazing track. I am jet lagged as hell, but the excitement is really jacking me up and I can't wait. I think this is probably going to be one of the most exciting things I have ever done, ever.